Well, my name is Nick Mudimba. Hope you're having yourself a beautiful time. Our sign language interpreter is Teresia Washira. Let's now look at the headlines we have for you tonight. Former Sports Cabinet Secretary Rashid Echesa and his three co-accused granted a 1 million shillings bail each. The Third Way Alliance Party has today relaunched the Punguza Mizigo initiative that flopped last year, October. The Kenya Tobacco Control Alliance has come out guns blazing to strongly oppose campaign dubbed Battle of Minds. In sports, your Mondays will never be the same again. We give you Monday Night Football. Now I begin the broadcast where former Sports Cabinet Secretary Rashid Echesa and his three co-accused were on Monday granted a 1 million bail shillings that's each. The four will alternatively have to part with 3 million bond to secure their freedom. Echesa and three others have been charged with 12 counts in the 39.5 billion shillings fake military arm deal.
Having spent the weekend in police custody over the 39.5 billion shillings fake arms scandal, Rashid Echesa and his three co-accused denied charges against them after their arraignment at Milimani locals today. The four were charged with conspiracy to commit a felony by conspiring to make a document with the intent to defraud. Echesa and the co-accused persons are also facing up to 6 counts of making a false document in the fraudulent firearms deal. The four are also said to have acquired 11.5 million from Kozlowski Stanley Bruno while claiming to award him the lucrative tender to supply military equipment. Appearing before Senior Principal Magistrate Kennedy Cheriot, the accused denied all the charges leveled against them. The former sports CS was also charged with impersonating Deputy President William Ruto's personal assistant. The prosecution had argued that if Echesa was released, he would interfere with the case. However, the defense dismissed the allegations, saying there is no compelling reason why the accused should not be granted bail.
You file a record of the things that you have done, so that in case you're asking for more time, you tell the court what you want to do. Unfortunately, this is where they fail miserably. So then 49G then goes away. So we come in under 49H. The accused person has been brought to court within a reasonable time, subject to admit. But they are here.
Defense lawyers led by Cliff Ombeta told court that the state should prove that the accused would not interfere but not base their argument on assumptions.
If we have to go by any definition of compelling reasons, that has to include the thesaurus and the Oxford Dictionary. It just means one thing. It must be forceful, that reason. It must be compelling. Most of all, it must be convincing. So this is what this affidavit is supposed to have.
However, Principal Magistrate Kennedy Cheriot said he had considered the argument and found the officers had not named the crime scenes that accused would interfere with. He added that they are presumed innocent until proven guilty. The case will be mentioned on March 3rd, 2020. The mention of Deputy President William Ruto's office as the venue for the meeting has given fodder to his political rivals, with some calling for him to step aside as investigations are ongoing. Ruto since has, however, redirected the office of the DPP to base their case on solid evidence other than sideshows. Dana Rose, Switch TV.
Now, the National Health Insurance Fund, NHIF, has refuted corruption allegations leveled against the management, with the fund's board claiming several corruption cases recently highlighted in the media are historical and that the acting board is working closely with the DCI to ensure all culprits are brought to book. Adia Masiwa with more.
Recent allegations of corruption, fund mismanagement, misuse of office, among many others directed to the National Health Insurance Fund, have raised temperatures in the country, with many beneficiaries of the health fund left in limbo. However, the NHIF board has now come out to strongly rebuke the corruption allegations and stated their case.
First, corruption cases. As you know, in 2018, a whole lot of 19 to 20 managers, top level, including the CEO, were bundled out of this office on account of serious corruption allegations. Those cases are in court and they are ongoing. And although that action was for 2018, the accusations that they face are for 2018, 2017, 2016, some going back to 2012. And it's very unfortunate that what is being recycled and recycled every morning about this fund are cases of 2012, 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18 until the group were bundled out of office.
A recent report by a health financing reforms expert panel indicated that NHIF paid 4.48 billion shillings in salaries, 1.9 billion shillings in advertising, 83 million in accommodation, and 498 million shillings on transport. In an effort to lift the status of the organization, Vice Chairperson Roba Duba says they have since put up management and financial reforms.
And the budget of 2019-2020 and 2020-2021, from those actuals, we intend to reduce this to 1.1 billion, by 1.1 billion. Basically from 6.4 to 5.1 billion in terms of, and this involves including the staff emoluments and so on. All right? Staff emoluments, travel accommodation, advertising, publicity, communication, transport, operating expenses, printing of member cards, registration of claim forms, training expenses, consultancies, repair, and so on and so forth. These are the lumped together administrative costs which we have worked on in our rationalized budget are reduced by 1.1 billion.
With multiple challenges recently facing the public insurer, the acting board says they are working closely with authorities at the DCI to ensure any culprits involved in corruption are brought to book. Hadia Mosiwa, Switch TV.
Now, the Third Way Alliance Party has today relaunched the Punguza Mizigo initiative that flopped last year, October, at the county level. Among the proposals in the new bill includes the abolishment of the Senate and instead strengthen the National Assembly, increase county allocation to 50% from the current 15%, among others.
Third Way Alliance Party says it's in the process of unveiling a revamped Punguza Mizigo draft bill after its initial push was rejected by the county assemblies. In the new Punguza Mizigo bill, the party, among other, proposes abolishment of the deputy governor position, claiming it has proven to be redundant. The initiative feels the governor should be the chief county accounts officer in order to avoid confusion over who is to be held responsible in case of misappropriation of county funds. The architect of the popular initiative bill, Ekuru Court, says this time round he will invite President Uhuru Kenyatta to the official launch of the bill.
The people who hold instruments of power and all public servants must not violate the Constitution and must hold the supreme law with utmost respect.
In what is aimed at strengthening its support, especially from the county assemblies, the new bill proposes a county ward development fund and county assemblies to be separately funded. A court further said that the party's proposal are merely meant to benefit all Kenyans regardless of their status in society, claiming that the rival Building Bridges initiative has a hidden agenda aimed at benefiting the elite groups only.
Hii ndio document ya kuangalia. Atuangalie hiyo document ingine tunaambiwa.
The first Punguza Mizigo initiative collapsed after the draft bill failed to meet the requisite support from the county assemblies. David Kagina, Switch TV.
Now, commuters along the Marich-Lomut-Chisagon Road in West Pokot County are facing difficulties in crossing River Chapera and are risking their lives after the collapse of the major bridges along the two rivers. This comes after a teacher drowned on Friday last week at River Sebi. Travelers are now forced to be carried by young men whom they pay a fee of 100 shillings to cross them. West Pokot Governor Professor John Longanyapo said is seeking an audience with President Uhuru Kenyatta, revealed that the situation of the collapsed bridge has actually affected many economic activities in the region. He added that there is no sign that government was aware of their plight or that anything would be done about the situation soon.
Imagine ukifika pale Jebera unabebwa. Sisi wale tunavaa marinda tutabebwa namna gani? Sio ni shida sana. Juzi tumeingia pale na nilikuwa naelekea sehemu za Sigor kule juu kwenye mlima. Tukaingia na gari ikaharibika.
Kama ya watu wasima kubebwa kuvuka mto. Ni kama tumerudi mwaka 60-70 zilizopita, wakati ambapo hatakuwa na uwezo kama nchi ya Kenya kuweza kuvuka mamito mingi ya nchi yetu. Lakini ajabu ni kwamba ile daraja iliyooshwa na maji na landslide ya mwaka jana mwezi wa 11, mwezi 4 sasa iko naisha, na ni national highway hii barabara.
All right, we're now taking a short break right in Breaking Today. Remember, today being a Monday, we are doing things differently. We'll be launching the first edition of Monday Night Football, and Lotan Salapay and Bwana Eric Njiru are standing by to give us all that. So don't go too far, because we'll be dwelling so much on European football and what's been happening around the world. A short break it is, but coming up. Concerns over acid attacks in Uganda. All right, welcome back to Breaking Today. Now, Kenya's efforts to position the blue economy sector as a key driver of the country's transformation today received a major boost with the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between the State's Department for Shipping and Maritime and the State Department for the Youth. On board in the MOU is the Mediterranean Shipping Company, which has so far employed over 400 Kenyan seafarers to work in the international on-board ships and earning relatively now, and has been sourced by the state to offer training and employment overseas. According to Shipping and Maritime Principal Secretary Nancy Karigithu, Kenya aims to move closer to realization of sustainable blue.
The government has undertaken to create employment opportunities, and in this regard, Kenya aspires to become a net exporter of workforce, not just locally, but also to the global shipping industry, in line with the economic and social pillars of Vision 2030.
We pledge to support this partnership and commit to play our part as outlined in the Memorandum of Understanding in order to achieve all the underlying and common objectives and visions for improving the welfare of the Kenyan youth.
Now, the Kenya Tobacco Control Alliance has come out guns blazing to strongly oppose the British American Tobacco's campaign dubbed Battle of Great Minds, a competition that takes place across universities in the country. According to the alliance, the campaign is in gross violation of the Tobacco Control Act of 2007, and its only aim is to sanitize BAT's image.
The British American Tobacco Company has been running a global internship competition program dubbed Battle of Minds that hopes to give talented individuals a chance to represent their country to a global final showdown in London in April this year. Despite being a noble initiative, the Kenya Tobacco Control Alliance is reading malice, strongly condemning the campaign by BAT in what they say is a masqueraded form of advertising.
Tobacco use is the #1 risk factor for cancer, and it is linked to over 16 types of cancers, with over 20% global cancer deaths. So it is quite alarming when we see BAT luring our young people to tobacco use, because then they'll be predisposed to diseases very early in life.
The alliance further says it's aware that tobacco companies heavily investing into communities and corporate social responsibilities, thereby luring students into believing that they care about the same communities.
We are therefore calling upon the Kenyan government to take action against tobacco companies that are constantly in violation of the laws and the policies that have been enacted to protect Kenyans from deadly effects.
According to the alliance, intention of the companies must be put to a halt before they destroy the very same talents they claim to nurture. Ketka is now calling on government agencies to spring into action.
We have the Kenya Tobacco Control Act, which outlaws promotion and even advertising. This kind of act amounts to advertising and promotion, and they do it so that in behind the scenes, in a way that many people cannot be aware. Now,
according to Ketka, tobacco smoking is a major contributor to poverty, with World Health Organization placing a figure of 1.1 billion smokers worldwide. Martin Opio, Switch TV.
A Ugandan-based NGO End Acid Violence is hoping to solve the unending acid attack cases, even though the country's police have only 4 such cases on record for the same year, indicating that the majority of these incidences actually go unrecorded.
12 years ago, Daniel Kasola was a victim of an acid attack. Someone he once considered a friend turned on him out of the blue. Even over a decade later, memories of the attack are still vivid.
I knew that this is acid because I have ever heard about people being poured on acid. So at that moment I felt it was too much. My eyes started burning, the skin started burning, paining mysteriously.
Daniel experienced feelings common to many survivors of this horrific form of attack. A lack of self-esteem, a near complete loss of trust in other people. With help from his family and following a lot of surgery, he eventually moved to a new place and opened an electronics shop. The NGO End Acid Violence Uganda recorded 42 new attacks in 2018. The youngest victim was just 10 months old. Other horrifying cases include 2 sisters, aged 3 and 5. But the country's official police records show only 4 cases in that year. Most attacks do not get reported or processed, either due to fears of reprisal or because victims are too focused on mere survival and recovery. Lynette Girungi, who herself is a victim of an acid attack, emphasizes the need for a specific law.
First policy we want to include there is a non-bail policy for us, the perpetrators. These people shouldn't be bailed out. And we need the sentence to be clear. Like it must be clear. If someone has poured acid and he has been proven guilty, this person must die from prison.
According to UK-based NGO Action Aid, women are more often the target of acid attacks than men. It is thought that this has to do with the importance attributed in society to women's physical appearance, a means of controlling their bodies. Jennifer was attacked by a colleague in a fit of jealousy over her successful business.
You cannot walk. Every time you are home, you have to be in bedroom. You fear people to see you. If people see you, it's fear you. And you are crying because of the way you have pain and you're looking bad.
After the attack, she lost her job because of her appearance. She had to go back to her home village. This mother of 4 now runs a small shop and a bar to make the ends meet, sleeping in a tiny space behind the shop. Acid attack victims agree legislation needs to be changed. Now these attacks are categorized under the catch-all of assault. If found guilty, some of the perpetrators walk out of the prison before the victim even leaves the hospital treatment.
And that's why we end this edition of Breaking Today this Monday. Don't go too far, because the gentlemen, that is Lotan Salapei and Eric Njiro, are standing by to give us all you need to know about the European football. As I told you earlier, it's Monday Night Football coming up in a few. Stay tuned.